Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our third session for data interpretation. In the previous session, we discussed something around 10 problems based on pie diagram, right? In this session, we will be taking some more problems based on pie diagrams and we'll be taking bar charts as well. So let's begin the session. Now friends, in the previous session, we had taken a pie diagram and around 10 questions we solved. The pie diagram was based on percentage, right? The breakup was given in percentage. Now in this pie diagram, the breakup is given in degrees, right? Now let's read the question first of all. The following pie chart shows the annual agricultural yield of a certain place, right? So we have to find out the solution to these three problems based on this pie diagram, right? Now, first of all, it should be clear to you that the angle, complete angle of a circle is 360 degree, right? So this complete value is 360 degree. Now, sugar contributes 80 degree, rice 40 degree, wheat 100 degree and others 140 degree, right? Now, we have to answer these questions. Let's try them one by one. If the total production is 8100 tons, then the yield of rice is. Now what's this total? This complete total will always be 360 degree, right? Now 360 degree is 8100. Now what is the contribution of rice? That is 40 degree. So rice is 40 degree from 360, then what will be its contribution from 8100, right? Total is 360, rice is 40 degree and actually for the complete amount is 8100. So what will be the contribution of rice? So it's quite simple, that is 900 tons, right? Then if the yield of, mark the right answer. If the yield of sugar is 2400 tons, then the yield of wheat is. Now sugar is contributing 80%, 80 degree, I'm sorry. And wheat is contributing 100 degree. Now if 80 degree is 2400, then 100 degree is what? So it's quite simple. $3,000. Very simple. Now the production of wheat exceeds that of rice by. Now what is the production of wheat? That is 100 degree. Now what is the production of rice? That is 40 degree. So rice and wheat. Rice is 40, wheat is 100. So what is the difference between these two? It's 60, right? That means wheat is more than double of rice, right? That is 2.5 times. 40 into 5 by 2 is actually 100, right? So what is the percentage that is exceeding, right? So how do we calculate that? From 40 to 100, it is the difference of 60 and we are taking the difference from 40. So divide by 40 into 100, right? So it is 3 by 2 into 100, we can say it is 150%, right? Now let's discuss one more pie diagram. The following pie chart shows the marks obtained by a student in an examination who scored 540 marks in all, right? Now the total of this pie diagram is 540 in marks and the total in degrees is 360 degree, right? Now let's take up the first question. The subject in which the student scored 108 marks, right? Now in all he has scored 540 and in particular subject he has scored 108. So from 540 it is 108. Then from 360 what will be the value, right? So we'll get to know what was the subject by looking at the degree component, right? So it is 72 degree, right? So if the student is getting 108 out of 540 in any particular subject, that means his contribution of that subject in pie diagram is 72 degree. Now, which subject is having 72 degree contribution in the pie chart? That is social science. Okay, so it's quite simple. Now the subject in which the student scored 16 2 by 3%. Now 16 2 by 3% is what, as I have already discussed in the first session, you have to remember certain percentage fraction equivalent. Now 16 2 by 3% is nothing but 1 by 6, right? Now the complete angle is 360. Out of that, if I want 1 by 6, so what should be here? If I write 60 over here, so I'll be getting 1 by 6. Yes, 60 by 360 is actually 1 by 6. So if this is 360 is 6, then 60 will be what? 60 degree. Isn't it? Quite simple. You don't have to go for any sort of paperwork. What you want is the ratio 1 by 6. So if 6 is 360, 1 will be 60. Right? So answer to this problem is Hindi. I hope you are clear. Now, the third question, the marks scored in Hindi and mathematics differ the marks scored in English, science and social science. So what you do is just add up Hindi and mathematics. So Hindi and mathematics, the total is 150 and definitely the remaining total will be 360 minus 150. So 360 minus 150 is 210, right? Now, what is the difference between these two? It's 210 over here and 150 over here. So difference is 60. Now the 60 difference is from 360 because the total of here is 360 degree. So this 60 degree is difference from 360. So from 540, what it will be, that we have to calculate. Okay, so it is 90 marks. A very simple problem, right? Even after some practice, you don't have to go for paperwork, right? I hope you are clear. Now it's a very simple question. What was the number of vehicles other than cars registered in March 2004? Now in March 2004, cars are 15,000 and other vehicles, total vehicles are 25,000. So the difference is 10,000, right? As simple as that. No need to go for any sort of paperwork. Okay. Now friends, let's take another set of questions. This is a bar chart that is given to us. Here, the results of annual exams in a high school are given for various grades, say 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. This bar graph represents the results of girls and this graph represents the results of boys, right? Now, all the datas are given in percentage. Now let's take the first question. In which standard is the difference between the results of girls and boys maximum? Now friends, a percentage are already given on the this bars. So in 5th grade, the difference between boys and girls is 20%. In 6th, it is 10%. It is in 7th, it is 20%. Here it is 30%. So this may be the correct choice. Here it is 10% and here it is further 10%. So the difference is maximum in 7th grade, right? That is 30%. So it would be the correct choice. Okay. Now let's see this question. In which pair of standards are the results of girls and boys in inverse proportion? That means in which grade pair of grades we can say that is the results of girls and boys is in inverse proportion. Now let's see the first combination, that is 5th and 10th. In 5th, the results of girls is more and in 10th even the results of girls is more. So it cannot be the correct choice. Then 5th and 6th, the results of girls is more in 5th standard and the same is there in the 6th standard. So even it cannot be the correct choice. Now 6th and 8th. In 6th, results of girls is more and in 8th even it is more. So even it cannot be the correct choice. 6th and 9th. In 6th, results of girls is 80%, results of boys is 70%, but in 9th, results of girls is 70% and boys is 80%. So it is inverse, right? So it will be the correct choice. The question was just based on an observation. No calculations was there. Now, In this question, in which standard is the result of girls more than the average results of the boys for the school? So first of all, we have to calculate the average results of the boys, right? So what's that? It is 60. How many standards are there? There are 6 standards. So first of all, just get the average. That is 60 plus 70 plus 60 plus 60 plus 80 plus 60. So 60, 60, 60, 60, 240 plus 150, that is 390, right? Divided by 6. So average result of boys is 65%. So in which standard the result of girls is more than average? So we just have to find out in which grade the results of the girls is more than 65%. So we see 9th standard, so it's correct. 8th standard, it is 40%, that is less than 65%, so it's not correct. 6th standard, it is 80%, so it's more than 65%, so even this is correct. Then 10th standard, it is more than 65%, so it is also correct. Now, in which standard is the failure of the girls lowest? So maximum results we are getting in, that is 90% in grade 7. That means minimum number of girls are failed in this grade, right? So it's grade 7. Okay, so the entire set of questions was based on just observation. I hope you are clear. Now friends, let's take up next set of questions. Here we have been given a bar chart, and there are 3 bars per year, right? One is showing profit, the second one is showing revenue, and the third one is showing expenditures, right? And all the figures given here are in lakhs. Now, the very first question is, the average revenue collected in this given 7 years is approximately. Now revenue is like, it is shown by the middle bar, right? Now we just have to add up the numbers over middle bars, and we have to divide that by 7 to get average, right? So it's 120 plus 130 plus 145, 165, 185, 200 and 220, right? Now how do we add them? First, let's take up hundreds. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 9 hundreds, then 50, 95, 95 plus 500, 160, 245 and 20, 265. So 900 plus 265, that is 1165 approximately. So we have to find out the average. So it's 1165 divided by 7, right? It's something around this, so it will be 167 lakh, right? I hope you are clear. Now, the next question is, the expenditure for the 7 years together forms what percent of the revenues during the same period? We have already added the revenues. That was 1165, right? Now we have to find out that expenditure is what percent of this revenue. So we have to add up the expenditure for all the years, right? Now expenditure is being shown by the third bar. Again, we'll just take up hundreds. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 and 700, right? Now, since the options are quite far from each other, we can just take up an around idea of the remaining numbers. So it's just 700 were there, then it's around 10, 25, 50, 50 and 50, 100, 100 and around 175 we can say. So in all, it will be around 700 plus 175, so around 875. So we have to find out this percent. Now further, this is bit tedious to calculate because it will take some time if we just calculate this calculation. So what you can do is you just approximate them, right? Since the options are quite far from each other, you can approximate this calculation. So how would you approximate? See, this figure is in numerator and this figure is in denominator. So if you approximate both of them to a higher side or both of them to a lower side, then the approximation effect will go, right? So 875, because we are giving the positive effect on to both of them, right? So if 875, I just write 900, and to 1165 I just write 1200, right? So we are giving them higher side approximation. So it's 9 by 12, so that is 3 by 4, that is 75%, right? I hope you are getting me. See friends, you have to be clear that if you approximate the numerator to a higher side, then denominator should also be approximated to higher side to nullify the nullify the effect, right? And if the two numbers are in multiplication, suppose A into B. Now if you approximate A to higher side, then B should be approximated to lower side. Suppose I take up one example, 9 into 11, right? It's a very simple calculation, but just to clarify the concept of approximation, I am taking this number. Now 9 and 11. If we have to find out the product of this, suppose we approximate 9 to a higher side, that is 10, then it should be approximated to lower side, so that will also be 10. So it's 99 and it's 100, right? So finally we are like closer to the correct answer, right? But I'm not telling that we are getting the actual answer, but we are closer to the correct answer. So that is the approximated value of 9 into 11, that is 100, right? I hope you're getting me. Now, in this question, which years showed the greatest percentage increase in profit as compared to the previous year? So we are given the four options. So we are not going to calculate for each and every year. We are just checking for all these four options, right? Now we have to find out the greatest percentage increase in profit from the previous year. So 2002, if we see, so what is the profit? This profit bar is the first one. So in 2001 the profit was 40, in 2002 the profit is 50, right? So what is the increase? That is 10, right? And increase is always taken on base, right? So base is 2001 only, not 2002, because we are taking the increment from 2001, right? So 10 is increasing from 40. In 2003 the profit is being from 50 to 60. So further increase is 10 only, but that 10 increase is on 50, right? In 1999, it is getting 25 from 20. So increase is 5 from 20 or on 20. In 2001, the increase is from 30 to 40. That is increase is 10, and the 10 increase is on 30. Right? So we have to find out the greatest percentage increase. Now that means we have to find out the greatest fraction among all these. So it's 1 by 4, it's 1 by 5, it's 1 by 4, and it's 1 by 3. Now which one will be the greatest? Obviously 1 by 3, because it is 25%, it is 20%, it is further 25%, but it is 33.33%. You must be knowing the fraction equivalent percentage, right? So instantly you can say 2001 is the correct choice. I hope you are clear. Similarly, in this question, in which year was the growth in expenditure maximum as compared to the previous year? Further, there are 7 years, but we are given 4 options, so we will be calculating only for these 4 options, right? As there is none of these. Now for 2002, growth in expenditure. So 2002, the expenditure is that 135, and in 2001 it is, I'm sorry, here 135, it is here 125. So what is the growth? That is 10. And we will be calculating growth on the base value, that is from 2001 it is growing to 135. So the base is 125. Right? So this is 10 by 125. Similarly for 2004, it's 150 and it's 140. So the growth is 10 and the growth is over 140. So it's 10 by 140. In 2000, it is 115 over here and 125 over here. So it's 10 over 1115, right? This is 115. In 2001, I'm sorry, for 2000 we'll be taking the difference from 1999. So it is 5 by 110. And this calculation will go over here. That is, in 2001 we will be taking this 10 by 115. Right? Now here 10 by 125, 10 by 140, if I write instead of 5, if I write 10, so it will be 10 by 220 and it is 10 by 115. Now in all the 4 fractions the numerator is same, that is 10. Now which is the highest denominator, that is which is the lowest denominator, so that will give us the biggest fraction or the largest fraction. So the lowest denominator is 115, right? So 10 over 115 is the greatest fraction among these 4, so that will be the correct choice, right? Because that growth will be the maximum because the fraction is greatest. So 2001 is the correct choice. So we didn't do any sort of paperwork, we just wrote down the data, right? Now let's see this question. If the profit in 2005 shows the annual rate of growth as it had shown in 2004 over the previous year, then what approximately will be the profit in 2005? So we have to find out the complete profit for 2005, and the growth rate is same as there was in year 2004 over the previous year 2003, right? So what was the profit in 2003? That is 60. And what was the profit in 2004? That is 70. So what was the growth? That is 10. And that 10 was growth over 60. So the growth percent is 10 by 60 into 100 if we talk about in percent. Okay, so 10 by 60, or if we just take up the fraction, so it will be 1 by 6 only. Now, in year 2005, the same rate of growth is there, right? So, in 2005, 70 is this existing profit, right? And 1 by 6 is growing, that is fraction, I'm taking in fraction, and plus existing profit. So, on 70, 1 by 6 is growing, right? Getting me? So, what is happening? 70 plus 1 by 6 of 70. Now options are quite far from each other, so we just get the approximate value of 70 by 6. 6 12s are 72, so it's around the value will be between 11 to 12, right? So it's between 81 to 82, so around it is 82 lakh, right? In the previous year it was 70 and growth is 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 of 70 is a value between 11 to 12. So we are going to add them to 70. So next year the profit data will be around 81 to 82 lakh. So 82 lakh will be the correct choice. I hope you are getting me. Friends, we have discussed a good number of problems in this session. We will be taking more such problems and graphs and charts in the next session. Do revise this session and the previous 2 sessions so you'll be more comfortable while we will be dealing with more difficult problems. Okay, see you in the next session. Bye-bye.